Hi, I'm PrepperMark, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about tents. I want to give you some information on what to look for when buying a tent and the different types of tents out there. In a couple months, I'm going to do another video on tents and set up all the tents I have, which is 5 different types, and tell you the plus and minus about each type of tent. I just did a winter camp out in my backyard. That's why I have this tent set up. This tent you see here is a backpacking type tent. It's a Eureka Timberline 4. Now, you don't have to use it just for backpacking, but that's the purpose of this tent. Now, you have 3 types of tents: a backpacking type tent, a family type tent, and an outfitter type tent. I'm not going to talk about the outfitter type tent because they weigh a couple hundred pounds and not many people will be getting a tent like that. A backpacking type tent comes in a couple of different styles. The one you see here is an A-frame. Backpacking type tents are small, lightweight, pack up small, and only sleeps up to about 4 people. A family type tent is a bigger type tent that usually sleeps up to about 10 people. Now, when it says it can sleep a certain amount of people, that's not being comfortable with that many people in it. The tent you see here is rated for 4 people, but the most adults that could sleep in here comfortably is only 3. You can sleep 4 people in this tent, but they would be packed in with little room to move. Now, with only 2 people in this tent, they can sleep in here comfortably and have some room for their gear. So when buying a tent, if it's a backpacking type tent, then I would always get one that sleeps at least 1 person more than is going to be sleeping in the tent. Or 2 more if you want some room for your gear. And if it's a family type tent, then I would get one that sleeps at least 2 more people than is what's going to be sleeping in it. And the same thing holds true as I just said. The less people in your tent, the more comfortable you're going to be and the more room for your gear. When looking for a tent, you want one that has a rain fly, one that the rain fly covers as much of the tent as possible. On mine here, you can see that the rain fly covers all but about a foot on the sides and extends over the end. The reason why you want a rain fly is to protect you from the wind and the rain. Even though your tent is supposed to be waterproof, they will still leak. So the rain fly will help keep water off your tent, lessening the chance of water getting into your tent. Plus, usually under the rain fly, your tent has a mesh fabric to help your tent breathe in hot summer months and to let condensation out in cold winter months. On the smaller tents, the rain fly usually covers more of the tent than it does on the bigger tents. But don't worry about that. The rain fly will still do the job. Now, tents are rated for seasons. A 1-season tent is only supposed to be used during the warm summer months. A 2-season tent can be used in late spring, summer, and early fall. A 3-season tent can be used in spring, summer, and fall. And a 4-season tent can be used year-round. The tent you see here is rated for 3.5 seasons. So that means it can be used in some of the winter months. When buying a tent, always get one that is rated for 3 seasons. This way, in most areas, you can use your tent year-round, even in the winter. And they usually cost a lot less than a 4-season tent does. Now, if you live in an area that has extreme winter weather, then you will need to get a 4-season tent. Another nice feature to look for that's not in all tents is a bathtub floor. Bathtub floor means your tent can be sitting in standing water and none of it will get in. My tent here has a bathtub floor and the water would have to get about 4 inches deep before the water would come in. When buying a tent, always go with a name brand like Coleman or Eureka. I would avoid getting a cheap off-brand type tent because you want a tent that's going to be waterproof, durable, and last a long time without a problem. And shop around. Make sure the tent you buy is going to do everything you need it to do and you can get it at a good price. If buying a backpacking tent, watch the pack size and the weight. You don't want a tent that is too big or weighs too much for in your pack. Even though your tent is waterproof, you still need to waterproof and seal the seams of your tent from time to time to keep it waterproof. On backpacking tents, you should always make a footprint or get a footprint for your tent. A footprint is a piece of plastic or polyester that goes on the ground for your tent to set on to keep anything from poking a hole into your tent floor. Well, that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for watching. Take care and God bless.